Okay, number 4. Write the equation of the circle in standard form. That's this form where h and k are the center, are -6 and 4, and the radius is 7. So we're going to get x minus a -6 plus y minus a 4 equals the radius of 7 squared. And there it is in standard form. Now to write it in general form, we have to multiply these out. So x minus 6 times x minus 6, x times x, x times -6, -6 times x, and -6 times -6. So we get x squared minus 12x plus 36. And if I do the, that's x plus 6 times x plus 6. So plus 12x plus 36. Y minus 4, that will be y squared minus 4y minus 4y, so that's minus 8y. Minus 4 times -4 is plus 16 equals 49, and they want it equal to 0, so I'll subtract 49 from both sides, and I'm going to write it in the order they asked for, which is x squared, then the y squared, then the x's, then the y's, and then all the numbers over here is equal to 0, and we have 36 plus 16, which is 52, minus 49 is plus 3. And there it is in general form, standard form. Now in the next problem, we got to do the opposite. We have it in general form. We got to take it back to standard form. And if you were in class on Friday, you realized, or you can look here and you can see, this is plus 6, which caused a 12. This is minus 4, which caused a -8. So there must have been, there's a -8, so it must have been x, because that's the x's, x minus 4. And then, since it's 1y, it must have been y plus 1/2 of, that's 1y, so half of 1 is a half. And that equals the radius squared. Now the tricky part is getting what the radius squared is. So, if we start with this and try to do like we did on number 4 to go to the general form, we get x squared minus 8x plus 16, squaring that, plus y squared plus 1y, half plus a half is 1, plus a half times a half is not 1, it's a quarter, and that will equal the r squared. Now, in this one here, they collected all the numbers on that side, so over there with the r squared, they've subtracted 16 and subtracted the 1/4, to get this side to have the x squared plus the -8x and the y squared and the plus 1y, and all the other numbers are over on the other side, and that would be the r squared, the negative 16, and the negative 1/4. And that's all collected on the other side, and that has to be that 50. So to find r squared, I could add 16 to both sides and negative 1 and 1/4 to both sides. So I'm going to add 16 1/4 to both sides. And so I get r squared is 66 1/4. Okay, so what was the center? Well, it had to be -4, so that's +4 for the center, because remember it's opposites. And that's a +1/2, so it's -1/2. And the radius squared is 66 1/4, so the square root of 66 1/4 is the radius. And I'm supposed to write it in standard form. Well, I haven't quite done that because I've got it here, but I didn't put in what r squared is. So I'm going to write the standard form here. X minus 4 quantity squared plus y plus 1/2 quantity squared equals 66 1/4. So now to graph it. The only thing left I have to do, the center's at 4 and -1/2, so the circle's over here a bit, so I'm going to push the y-axis over a ways so I can see more of the positive side. And since it's only down 1/2, I'll leave the x-axis kind of in the middle. And the radius is the square root of 66. Well, the square root of 64 is 8, so this is a little over 8. So to get 8, that's a large radius, so I'm going to have to count these maybe by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. And if I go to 4 and down 1/2, well, if I go down 1/2 of a square, that's 1 down, because these are 2 by -2 here, so to get to -1/2, I'm only a little bit down, 1/4 of a box down, right on the top of that 4. And now I got to have a radius of a little over 8, and so I can go count up a little bit of over 8 and count down a little over 8, and to the left a little over 8, and to the right a little over 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, and a little bit more. 2, 4, 6, 8, and a little bit. 2, 4, 6, 8, and a little bit. Gets me really close to 8. And 2, 4, 2, 4, 8, and a little bit. 2, 4, 6, 8. Can't even count. Getting tired. Alright, so 2, 4, 6, 8. There we go. So the circle would be something like that. Okay, there's problem 4 and 5.